Oh my gosh, you guys, it's been a while since I've been on this channel. I think I left you guys hanging for like I think we're going on a month now. Where we left off at was my last video right here. I spoke about working for Coca-Cola, which was an amazing experience, by the way, working for them. But I've gotten a whole bunch of questions when it came to how I was able to secure a corporate job like that with Coca-Cola, like as a locum and things like that. So I've also had so many questions behind my career path, and I get it 100% because it's not something that's taught to us while in nursing school. So I decided, hey Ebony, what's the best way to just share my journey with you guys? And so I'm going to create a series, and the series is going to be called Inside My 1099 Career Series, where I give you guys a breakdown of everything I've done in my career, some tips, what I'm doing, just going into the nitty-gritty of things when it comes to me like negotiating rates in real time, looking at contracts, and just how I'm securing these opportunities, my thought process behind building a 1099 career that allows me to become work optional so I can focus on other income producing assets that's going to drive me out of just healthcare, okay? So welcome to the series of Inside My 1099 Career. First thing first, we are going to talk about where it all started, because believe it or not, I accidentally fell into this career path. And girl or guy, you want to stick around for this entire video. You saw how I poured into you guys in my Coca-Cola video. That's where we're going with things. I've been educating on this channel for quite some time, and while I'll still educate on this channel, I think that talking to you wholeheartedly, what I wish somebody would have said to me when I first started my journey, is going to encourage you to want and yearn for more. Okay, so Inside My 1099 Career is going to give you the ups, it's going to give you the downs, it's going to give you how I started, it's going to give you every single thing that you need to excel in this career as a 1099 contract. Okay, so let's take it way back to when I started. Prior to becoming a 1099 contractor, I was in nursing school. Obviously, I saw travel nurses on my unit. I used to work in a medical ICU. So I saw travel nurses on my unit, and I just liked the fact that they came, did their job, the same job I was doing, and then left. Like, that's literally what they did. And I admire that. But because I started nursing school at 17 years old, I did not take a break. I went to school straight, except for the period where I had that little break between my bachelor's and getting my master's. I had a little 8-month break. Other than that, like, I literally did not have much time off for myself, okay? Because I was always in school. Like, imagine, like, you started school at 17 years old. Like, I was in school. I got accepted into a pre-nursing program, so that was already hard alone. Then going through with everything. It was just a lot, you know what I mean? When I graduated with my NP in 2018, guys, the first thing I thought about was travel nursing. I had a lot going on at home privately, personally. My father was my primary caregiver when I went away to school. He was an immigrant, wasn't even supposed to be in America. Thank God, like, travel nursing helped me so much. It put me through earning additional money that allowed me to be able to go ahead and do everything I needed to do to support my family. So like, when I graduated in 2018, my priority wasn't to try to find a job. My priority wasn't to buy a house. That was not my priority. The first thing I thought about was like, I need to make my father legal in United States of America. I need to get an apartment for myself and for my father in United States of America. And so I'm not gonna make this video super duper long, because I wanna cut these videos into different parts, because I wanna allow you guys to understand like my mindset when it comes to just how I move in my life and how I move with my career, right? So I already knew I was kind of different, because like, I wasn't rushing into becoming a nurse practitioner right away, nor did I know what I wanted to do. I became a family nurse practitioner because I knew that it was going to open up more doors for me in the long run. I didn't know what that long run looked like at all. I didn't know what that long run looked like. So if I had to give a word of encouragement to somebody that's trying to decide whether they want to do FNP or Psych NP or Women's Health or Pediatric NP or Adult Gero or Critical Care NP, the first thing I would say, guys, is to decide what is it that you want to do, right? If women's health is your thing, like if you're all about women's health, labor and delivery, and you don't want to deal with anything else besides women and the birthing process and things like that, mother and baby, then go for women's health. If you're into psych, and honey, I could tell you my psych story. Like, I was a psych tutor, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, I wanted to go into psych and see psych patients. It wasn't enough for me. But if that's your thing, go for it 100%. For me, family nurse practitioner made sense because I opened the doors to different opportunities that I can hop into, hop out of, and so on. So that's why I chose this route of being a family nurse practitioner. Not because I knew what I wanted to do. I just chose the route because I knew that I wanted to, one, advance my degree from RN to NP, but I didn't have an idea what I wanted to do with that degree. So when I finished, and you know what's crazy? Throughout nursing school, while I did my clinicals and everything, I thought that I knew what I wanted to do. I thought that I was going to do clinicals and I was going to figure it out what I wanted to do and things like that, but I did not figure it out at all. So fast forward to when I graduated in 2018, I was like, oh honey, I need to get that travel nursing bag. I needed to work. I needed to get the visa for my dad. I needed to get a 2-bedroom apartment for myself and my father. I'm Caribbean. It was like priority for me. And it's not even a Caribbean thing for real. I just know that for what my dad did for me, like literally told me, like, go to school, get an education, do what you have to do. For what he instilled in me, I knew that I had to serve to a capacity, and that was my priority, right? So when I secured my first travel nursing job, literally moved home from upstate New York to New York City, got a 2-bedroom apartment, and I was working contracts. And I think at this time, I'm an OG travel nurse. So at this time, if you're making about like $1,800 a week in New York City doing travel nursing, that was golden, okay? At that time, that was golden. That, like, you were winning when you were doing that. So I did what I had to do, got the visa for him, and I liked that lifestyle. As a travel nurse, I was home because New York City is home for me. I was home, but then I was like, you know what? Why am I rushing? And I didn't even take my boards. Like, when I graduated, I took my boards a year later. Like, but I liked the travel nursing lifestyle. And I was just like, you know what, Ebony? Let's go on and take this to the road, okay? So I flew to California for my second assignment. Loved it there. Loved it there. I think I stayed in, I want to say San Jose, but I could be wrong. I stayed somewhere. I don't remember where I stayed at, but it was definitely North Cali. I stayed out there, loved it, connected with a lot of travel nurses. We were like a clique. Like, once you figured out somebody else that was a travel nurse, it was like, you know, it was lit. Like, it was like we were a clique, y'all. So I did that, did a couple of assignments out there, I remember. And then I remember feeling a little bit anxious. I remember feeling nervous. I remember feeling like, dang, like the way I love travel nursing had to be explained for real. If you're an OG travel nurse, you know, like we were in travel nursing for like the adventure. The money came with it, but the adventure was like it. You know what I mean? Traveling to different places and so on. And that was like my first solo travel experience as well, out there, being somewhere where I'm not, you know, I'm by myself. So that was like me traveling solo for the first time. So I felt anxious and I felt like I got this degree, but what am I doing with it? I have this degree. What am I doing with it? It's just sitting there collecting dust. I had no interest in studying for the boards. I had no interest in doing any of that stuff. And I started to feel like it was a waste of time. But I always knew that the goal was to get my master's degree as a nurse practitioner. And at this time, like, we're talking about 2018, like, now most of the nurse practitioner programs are a doctorate. Back then, it wasn't like that. I feel like after I left, it became like a doctorate program, but it wasn't like that at first. So I remember feeling anxious because I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm wasting people's time. I don't like wasting people's time. I don't like that. So I ended up actually studying for my boards, passed it on the first try. And then July of 2019, I secured my very first staff NP urgent care job. And honestly, if I had to think about that job, I don't even know if I was really getting paid the best rate, like best annual salary. At that time, it was $105,000 a year. But what I was more happy about was that I was able to get a 3 12-hour shift job as a nurse practitioner. And I think that was what was most important for me. So I secured my first 3 12-hour shift, right? I remember feeling overwhelmed because that job never trained me as a nurse practitioner. So I remember going in, I remember working with the NP, shadowing an NP my first day. I remember shadowing a PA my second day. And then my third day, I was left alone, seeing at this time about 25 to 35 patients by myself, a MA, a front desk. And I thank God all the time for friends that graduated before me, because I didn't have the support at that job. Like, who to contact was like, oh my, it was just overwhelming to try to contact somebody, to try to reach out. Like, I was so new. Like, what I know about urgent care now, that honestly, I could look back on it and be like, oh my God, that was it. But as a new grad, that was not easy. Like, it was not easy to be left on your own after 2 days, 2 shadow days. That was not it for me. So I remember asking the NP and PA, like, yo, like, who do I contact? And I remember them saying, like, girl, just give us a text. Like, just call us whenever you need that. And if it wasn't for the NP, the PA, and my friends that graduated a year before me, I don't really know how I would have survived, like, by myself, like, just not understanding anything. Needless to say, I hated the job. I hated the job so much, but I was nervous about quitting because I was thinking, like, nobody wants me with just 4 months of experience, because I quit after 4 months. So I remember feeling like nobody would want to even deal with me because I don't have enough experience in my belt. So I know what it is, because I know it's God. But at that time, I don't really know, like, sometimes you don't know, like, that's the calling that God gives you. Like, seriously. So I remember thinking about a career day at my college where different jobs came in and we pretty much had time to go around the tables at the different jobs. This was when I was a nurse practitioner student. Different jobs came in, and as I was going by all of the tables, guys, the tables that I was attracted to the most was something called locum tenens, which is what I do right now. Look at how God works. So the tables that I went by when I was still a student, they spoke about freedom, they spoke about flexibility, they spoke about making your own schedule. And for me, that's all I wanted. But I also remember them telling me that I didn't have enough, like, I would need to have at least a year of experience to do so. So it kind of put a damper on me on how I felt, because I'm like, dang, like, the actual career path that I'm interested in, I can't even work in because I'm about to quit this job. And I quit the job because I felt like it, one, didn't serve me. Two, I felt like my license was at risk every single day. Literally every single day, I felt like my license was at risk. And I felt like I didn't have the support that I guess I thought I had, or I thought I would get. But something in my spirit was telling me that, Ebony, leave this job. God got you. Like, God is going to bless you tremendously. But I also remember battling what the flesh was telling me. You're no good. Who leaves a job after 4 months of experience? Like, I remember like that feeling of what the flesh was telling me. And then randomly, I remember waking up, and I remember it was on my day off, and I remember telling the manager that I wasn't coming back. I think at this time they were trying to get me to go part-time at least. And then I said, give me 2 weeks to think about it. And then she said, okay. And it's everything in me was telling me, no, Ebony, you can't do this job. And so I remember saying, this wasn't for me. Like, it's just that feeling that you get when something doesn't serve you. That feeling that you get is going to tell you, like, no matter what you do, no matter how you try to piece things together to make it work for you, if it doesn't serve you, God is going to pull you away from that. He is going to pull you away from it. And I couldn't take another day. I know that if I would have said, yeah, let me go even if it was part-time, I knew that I wouldn't have been comfortable there. So you know what happened during that 2 weeks? I went ahead and I applied for my first locum position with just 4 months of experience. And I remember, like, they're not gonna hire me. I don't have enough experience. I remember feeling like, dang, I'm gonna have to stay at another job for a year before I even try to apply. And you know how good God is? God is so good that my very first contract I got after 4 months of experience, they were willing to train me. And now you don't really get that too often, where locum contracts are going to train you. Let me tell you, we have a whole series to get into, y'all. We got a whole series to get into, so I don't want to spill too much beans. We're gonna pick up where I'm leaving off at. But the thing that you need to know about locums is they don't tell you like the actual address or the actual hospital or the actual clinic. And I'm not gonna say like details about it, but I was told it was a specific clinic that seen LGBTQ, primary care. And I remember one of my friends telling me that he works in a clinic, but because they didn't give me the name of the clinic, I didn't know like it was actually his clinic. So I remember calling him and I'm like, hey, do you work in so-and-so clinic? And he was like, yeah, like, how'd you know? Because this is after I found out, after I had signed the contract, not signed the contract, but I signed the agreement saying that I'll work with the agency. That's when I figured out what the name of the clinic was. So I hit up my friend. I was like, hey, do you work at this clinic? And he was just like, yeah, like, oh, God is so good, y'all. God is so good. Like, he was like, yeah, this is the clinic I work in. Why? He was like, we just lost a provider. Like, how do you know about this? And I was just like, they want to interview me for a locum opportunity. He was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, they want to interview me for a locum opportunity. And he was like, wow. So he ended up saying that he knew me. So I want to say that the reason they hired me with just 4 months of experience was because, I'm gonna always give it up to Steve, was because of Steve. I felt like they felt like because Steve was a great provider and he trained me, he was actually one of my preceptors, right? When I was a student, he trained me. And I feel like they were just like, okay, well, Steve is a good provider. I'm sure that he will train this girl that doesn't have much experience. And then on top of that, y'all, the job that I got hired for was primary care. I don't have no primary care experience. I had urgent care experience and that was it. So they took me on and they took me on for 6 months. And I got to work alongside my colleague. And I got to learn what to do clinically as a provider for the very first time. So my very first time of learning what it looks like to be a provider. Not that urgent care job where I was just thrown into the wolves, but working alongside a colleague. But I came on as a locum. I tell you, God is so good. God do not play. When I say God is going to give you an answer, God was just like, Ebony, I'm going to give you an answer. Don't worry. And ironically, you're going to be trained by somebody you know. Okay, so now we're sitting here. I only have 4 months of urgent care experience and 6 months of experience as a primary care provider doing locum tenens. And so that's a total of just 9 months of NP experience. And like, it was just a blessing, I would say. It was definitely a blessing. It was ironic. It was amazing. It was a blessing. And like, I don't even know, like, the way God works. Once I tell you about these stories, you're gonna see why God has a blessing over my life and why I move the way I do and operate in a space of abundance and not taking crap from anybody, any job, period. Yo, so I am happy for this series. I hope you are going to like this series. I hope you're going to enjoy it because I truly enjoy speaking on my story because my story is nothing but a testament from the Lord. So stay tuned for the next one. If you like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe because I want to be able to pour into you. I want to be able to give you tips. I want to be able to let you know that you are that girl or guy. And I want you guys to be inspired. And I think that the best way for me to do so is by talking to you. That's all. That's all. All right, guys. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe below. Please do so. Please do so. Please do so. Your girl need it. That's the only way this is going to be viewed. Just like that Coca-Cola video that you guys liked. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. So stay tuned for the next video.